Okay, there was some questions about my exhaust tubes and how I was attaching. What I did was I flanged out the end, and then I took it and rolled it back on the lathe. Basically brought a tool in and just rolled it back. So now I've got an angle on the top here, and this is the piece that fits into the motor, and this got a big countersink on it that fits right over. It fits right over the flange that I rolled. When you tighten that up, I'm hoping it'll seal up. So anyway, I've got the ignition box just about done. Got the power. I decided to put the power up on top. So I've got it glued and clamped, and I'll get this, because that's dried, I'll put the end piece on, and the only thing left then is just and that'll be after the motor is put together, the ground wire to the motor, and then the two spark plug wires. So, oh, I can make the spark plug clips on the end too. Basically what I did for making the spark plug clips is, see if I can draw it out, I don't know. I took a piece of round stock, round brass, and I drilled it out so it just slips over the spark plug end, and I drilled it back a ways, and then I parted it off. And then once I had that parted off, I took and I cut it halfway down, and then cut that off, so that's gone. So now I just got a basically just got a little piece like that, which I'm not very good at drawing. And it looks like that. And I flatten that out with the pliers, this back side, just flatten that with the pliers, grip it with the pliers and flatten it out, and then I grind it so that it's straight. And I take and I basically I take the Dremel tool and cut that so that it's split. And then I take and bend this over, so then in the next view it would look like that, and it's split down here so that I can just squish it together, and then I just solder the wire on it. Hope that makes sense to you. So I can make those too. I haven't made those. So I'm just putting the exhaust tubes back on. I'm getting the dimensions for the height that I need for my bearings and my pulley. I had to put this 1/2-inch spacer under here because the belt was rubbing on the mount. That's the reason. Because originally I had planned on going with a much smaller pulley than this that's on there right now, and I went with a bigger pulley. So, but I'm going to put the exhaust tubes back on to see how long my shaft is going to go across to where the Kickstarter lever will be, because I want the Kickstarter lever actually, do I want it on the inside of the exhaust or the outside? I probably want the lever on the outside of the exhaust tubes, so I got to put it together and kind of visualize it a little bit. And I do have it drawn up in CAD, but I don't have everything over here done. So anyway, that's where I'm at. I just thought I would try to explain the exhaust tube thing. I don't know know if I explained it or confused you more. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and finish putting the exhaust tube on and then get my dimensions, and then I'm not sure if I'm going to make just a V with round stock with the bearings in it and the round stock attached. I'm thinking that's what I might do. You know, take round stock and basically cut a block with a V and 2 screw holes to mount that housing, the bearing and shaft housing into it. So I will cross that bridge when I get there. I'm gonna lay it out in CAD, see what it looks like, and then proceed from there. So anyway, that's where I'm at. Thanks for watching. Catch you later. I figured I'd take you through the steps of making the spark plug connectors. So what I've got here is a piece of brass, 1/4 inch diameter brass. Put that in. And then I have to take the spark plug, measure the top diameter that I made it, and it looks like 3/16. So I grab a 3/16 drill. And we're going to drill a hole in it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to center drill that real deep. Just in case the drill head walked off or anything. I can see that you're shaking, rattling, and rolling. I think I'm going to redo my setup here. I'm going to take the extension off of the camera because it's just shaking. I'm just taking the extension off that I had on here on the camera. And it's broke, the bracket is broke. So I need to get a new bracket and glue that together. So we'll see if that helps. It should. It should help. Get all the pieces put back together here. Just about dropped the nut down. That should help with the shaking. We'll see here when I turn it on. Turn the lathe on. If not, I'll have to figure some other way. Much better. Now we're going to go in and center drill that. Give the drill something to follow. Drill in. Now, I want to make sure I drill deep enough for 2 of these, and I'm going to make so it's about 200 there, and another 200, so 400. So I'm going to drill 800. I'm going to drill at least 900 deep. So let's start right there. 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6. I'm going to put a little Earl on that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 900 deep. Okay. I'm going to use this as a platform for you to see. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this down. I don't want the wall thickness. I don't want that wall thickness that thick. So I'm going to turn it down. I want it fairly thin. It's about right there, I think. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to leave it at that. And I'm going to use my thin part-off blade. 50 thou. So touch. And go over 50, and then I want 400. I thought I said, yep, 400. 1, 2, 3, 400. Button off, go 50, and then 400. 1, 2, 3, 400. Part another one off. Alright. That part of it is done. Now, it's the Dremel tool. And I think we'll go over to the mill. I'll plop you on the mill vise over here. I've got you on a magnetic base, so I'm just going to plop you down here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to die commit, or probably just take black magic marker. If I can find one. Yeah, a blue will do. I guess a blue one will do. So what I'm going to do is I want to see where the center line is. And I'm going to just scribe a line on there with my calipers at 200. Just going to make a mark so I know where to cut down with Dremel. So I'm going to take and try to clamp that in the vise. Move you out here so I can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to clamp it way out here on the corner. Don't have to clamp it very tight. Just enough to hold it in there. I'm going to get the Dremel tool. I got to put a part-off blade in it. blade in it. Okay, plug it in. Now what I'm going to do is, right where that mark is on there, I'm just going to plunge in. Right there. And I'm going to go down about 3/4 of the way. Then I'm going to take and go across this way without hitting my vice jaws, I hope. Same thing with the bottom. And knock that out of there. And then I'm going to go, well, I normally take and slit this, but I do that very last, after I take and flatten this out. And what I do is, I could have went a little bit further on this side the way it looks, which is okay. I can take a nippers after it, but I'm just going to take a pliers here. Just going to take a pliers and straighten that out. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a wire cutter and a nippers. I'll get it. And just take a nippers here, and I'm just going to nip that off, that extra. Like that. And I'm going to nip this side. I kind of nip it at an angle, so it's a little smaller on, like that. That's my soldering tab. Now what I do is I take and cut right down the middle of that. So taking a grab it in the vise over here again. Sometimes it's a trick getting it in the vise after you. And I found that if I got a heavy piece of wire, and I don't have one right now offhand, I can use a Dremel tool. You can usually hold that up there and hold it in there. Sometimes it's a buggered. I'd hold it with my fingers, but it gets a little hot. Just like that. And all I want to do is just come across it and open it up. Exactly on center. No, I'm kidding. Anywhere on there is fine. So there it is. Now you're taking, you bend this tab over. Just like that. And I solder the wire on there, and you can take and just kind of squeeze it together just a little bit to make it fit snug on the plug, just like that. So like I say, now you just solder a wire on it. I had the wire coming out this way, sideways. I'm almost thinking about making a boot for these too, a rubber boot. So I'll do the other one and then get them all soldered up, and then I'll put some heat shrink around it, and I'll show you it when I get done.